Alright, welcome back to Divekick Infinite. I'm your host, Thanos PKC, and tonight we are going to be talking about Markman, the character in Divekick that is based off of a real-life person named, it goes by Markman, but his name is Mark Julio, and he's, used to be with Mad Cats, but now he's with, I think he's with Evo now, Director of Business Development, I believe. But this is character that's based off of him. Whoops. And the way that his character is kind of brought to life here is through a few mechanics from, I want to say, one game MVC 3 with Phoenix Wright, where he gets to like dig for items and get a better mode, and he has some just frames similar to some Tekken characters. And we'll go over that as we talk about the normals. Let's start off with Kick Jam. We'll have Markman on the other side so we can kind of look at all the different items that he may show when we show a special.
Yes, from above.
Alright, so Markman doesn't have a high jump. His jump is a little bit higher than Kung's, but not as high as Kick's, so he's of the lower jump characters. His kickback goes pretty far, and his kick is kind of horizontal like Kung's, but not nearly as horizontal, and his kick also has a startup. Let's show what that looks like. So this startup here is about 6 frames. I think it's 6 frames. But he'll be in this position and he can get hit out of it before he actually does his kick. You'll kind of get caught in this scenario if they tend to do a very fast attack that's really close to you. You could get hit out of this position, so it's something you want to watch out for. And there's his kick. His head kind of like is like facing the other side of the screen, but it's actually the hitbox is basically let's see if I can. This hitbox is kind of a full head, so even though it might be looking like you got hit in the back, you actually got hit in the head. So want to be careful about that. Just understand where your head is. This area by his bottom foot can get tagged sometimes by characters like Stream or Baz who have like a long underkick. So things to note about his kick. Let's jump back to the normal game.
Divekick is esports.
As you can see, it's fairly horizontal compared to most other kicks, and
Buy one, get one.
I want to say that his hitbox is decent, but not the best. Usually, if you're on a if the kick is going to be below you, there's a good chance that that Markman will win. If the kick is kind of like in the middle, or if the person you're trying to hit is above, then you're probably going to lose those ones. The kick is only on where the shoe is, but there are ways to kind of make this bigger, and I guess I can go over that next. But this is his normal kick, and he has another set of moves that I want to call normals as well, only because you're allowed to do them when you're concussed. And I'll go over them right now. They're basically just frames, and these are the ones that are borrowed from Tekken. Basically, if you hit kick at the top, when Markman's at the top of his jump, there's a 1 frame window for you to do a electric kick like that. Took me 3 chances. I'll try to do it again, but it's fairly hard to hit consistently. You can do it even if you're in Kickfactor. You should be able to do it also when you're concussed. So I know that during during Concussion, you're not supposed to be able to do any of your specials, but this particular move you can do while you're concussed. So it's something that it's good to call out, as it's a tool that you can use if you are concussed. You still commit to a full jump whenever you try to do it, so it's something that's it would be nice if it was fast and low, but really it's something that will come out and will be able to be read, because there's always going to be a full jump before they call it the Electric Wind Godfoot, kind of after the Electric Wind Godfist from Tekken. And let me see if I can pause it with this coming up.
Buy one, get one. Buy my stuff.
Oop, damn, forgot to pause it.
Good job.
Hopefully I can get a pause of showing the actual electric kick.
On sale.
I'm gonna burn some meat here.
On sale.
Yeah, so it's pretty hard to execute. You have a 1-frame window, and even then I feel like it's fairly inconsistent, but maybe I'm just not that good. I was getting it a few times there, so hopefully we can get one and actually get a pause in here. Set her up, our other Markman here. Of course, I forgot to pause. There it is. Alright, so in this particular kick, you have that extra speed, but also your kickbox is, I want to say it's about this big. It kind of goes up to like where the knee is instead of just the foot area. It actually extends up towards his knee. So if people are coming in from here, you'll probably get a tie. There is overlap with your hurt box, but you do get hits from all the way up to the knee whenever you have this electric effect on. You still have the problem of the outstretched foot, and also since this is something that just happens automatically and is rather difficult to perform, sometimes you'll be in this kick when you don't want to. So whenever you do a full jump into a kick, you want to be ready just in case you end up kicking faster than you originally planned to be.
Free shipping.
See if I can get to happen one more time. There you go. I remember there was like a way to, if you wanted to practice this on your own in versus, you could just have it where you put one person in the middle and then you just kick over them the whole time. Try to do it. Oh, there was 3 in a row there. Another way is to have both of them face the corner, and then you can alternate them. Since they're both facing left, you don't have to worry about them moving around. I think Toko had a video on this, like how to practice a long time ago. I'm not sure if it was Toko, it might have been someone else, so don't quote me on that. But again, that's just kind of like get everyone to the corner, and you can just practice each of the characters pressing the buttons. I'm hitting it decently, but of course when I say that, that's when I stop hitting it. So this move is referred to as like a just frame move, and I'll call it like the electric kick or the electric wind god fist or god foot. Markman also has another just frame, and it's basically you hit dive as soon as you land, and you do a little backdash. So there you go. So this is basically as you're about to land, your first frame of landing, you press the dive button, and you'll do a little backdash where you won't land, and you'll do a little step back. Of course, I thought I was better at timing at this one. At least I think I'm better at this than the one in the air. I think it's because I can see like the ground coming up closer, or I can see Markman coming closer to the ground. So I feel like I can do this one a little better than the electric kick. You can also do it from a kickback. You can't do it obviously from a kick, so you can only do it from landing from a jump or a kickback.
Judgment.
That sound is similar to his air special, and there's a lot of similarities, except his air special is like this backdash in the air, but it's bigger, and the actual name is called feint. Let me see if there's anything else I should go over in terms of his normals. Start up on the kick, horizontal kick, decently fast, but not that fast, unless you have the electric kick.
Good job.
Roundo. Divekick.
I think that's about it. His kickback is pretty. It goes back pretty far and it stays low, so there's a lot of things you can get away from with his kickback.
Roundo. Nine. Divekick.
I think that's all we'll cover for the normals. Let's move into. Oh, I guess Backdash has this kind of niche thing where if you have, it doesn't cost meter normally, but if you have a certain amount of meter, I think it's like, I'll try to write it on here, but I think it's right here. I'm gonna say right here. Notice that when I do a backdash, it like, oh, I guess it's a little bit closer, but when I did a backdash, it pulled my meter back to that threshold. So if I kick, I do a backdash, it'll drain the meter to there. But if you use your if you don't have meter up to that line, then it won't take any meter at all. So let's try this again. And notice here it's not taking any meter at all. I don't know why that is. This might be a bug left over. But yeah, that's something to watch out for. It could be useful if you're about to get Kickfactor and you don't want Kickfactor. You could try to do your backdash to try to get rid of a little bit of that. I think that's all I should have to mention about specials, or I mean normals. We should move over to specials. Let's talk about the air special first. The air special is called feint, and it's basically the same as backdash, except you do it while you're in the air, and you can do it from a kick. So here's a kick, here's the feint. So that same like sound where it's like of him moving backward when he does his backdash is the same sound you hear when he does his feint. And you can actually kick out of your feint as well. It allows you to set up attacks where you bait the other person to attack you, and you can kind of get out of the way still in the air. It does not auto-face, so if you end up passing the opponent and you press your special, it won't turn you around. So good to note that. You could use it to adjust for headshots. You can use it to kind of just get out of the way if you made a bad jump. You can do it from kickback or jump as well. There's that from the neutral jump. You cannot do a backdash from landing from it though, so if I were to do a feint and then I land, I wouldn't be able to hit dive at the end of that to do another backdash. So once you've done the feint, I think that's it. Let me see if you can do a double feint. I'm pretty sure you can't, but maybe you can. Actually, no, it seems like you can because you can cancel it. So try to get a lot of meter. Nope, doesn't look like. Looks like you only got one. Either that or I didn't have enough meter. Let's try that one more time then. That's one. I need a meter for two. I guess you can't do it if you do a kick, but let me see if I can do it. Oh, I guess you can't do a backdash from a backdash. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to jump, do a backdash first, kick, and then do a backdash again. I think I should be able to do that if I have enough meter. Yep, okay. So yeah, you can use them more than once in the air. Sorry about that.
Hurry up!
Sorry about that. Got a little phone alert.
Hi.
Round
I'm back now, though.
6
Alright, so I was talking about doing the backdash twice in the air. It doesn't auto-face.
Hit on sale.
If you end up passing the opponent, it will bring you kind of backwards toward them to get a hit. I think that's about it. See if there's anything else with the air special. I guess there is some item use, but let's go over the ground before we talk about the item use. Alright, so the ground special is called Junk, I believe, but I usually refer to it as Search. Basically, Markman searches for items, and this thing right here in the lower left is his kickbox. And you're trying to build this kickbox, and it's going to take 3 items. It's going to take a box, then a dive button, then a kick button. And once you have all of it, you'll kind of see these buttons filled in. You'll then move into precision mode. And that precision mode is it basically turns your specials into a DP or a dragon punch, and basically an anti-air attack, which is an upkick. And both your specials become upkick. Both your search and your feint, which is your air special and your ground special, will turn into upkick. And finding a box item, this is 30%. So every time you search, you have a 30% chance of finding a box item. As that leaves a 70% chance of finding basically items that you throw onto the stage. And these items will persist across rounds. So all the items last for 6 seconds. And then, or like a max number of uses. And I think only the spring does it. But you have a few items. You've got the spring, got the glue, got gas. I think it's called chemistry. And you've got oil slick, oil, like that. And you have, of course, that looks like the black hole. And you have a black hole. It's a portal that basically pulls you underneath and drops you from the sky. Gas will drain meter. Glue will get them stuck for about, I think, 30 frames or half a second. And spring will make them bounce with very little upwards movement. So they'll kind of bounce on the spring. The spring is the one that only is limited to 6 seconds or 6 uses. So if you ever see someone bounce off the spring 6 times, the spring will disappear after the 6th time. And all these 4 here, the oil, gas, glue, and spring, they all have the same weight. And the black hole happens a little bit less, half as much as the rest of them. And I think I calculated the percentage, but it was something like about 15% to find. So it's 70% to find junk, but for these ones, it's 15% each, and this one here is about 7 or 8%. So 30% to find an item, 15% to find one of these, and 7 to 8% to find black hole. Now that's a lot of writing, so I'm going to go ahead and erase all that, and I'm going to kind of show you all those items now. Oh man, I wrote a lot. All right. So whichever one comes up, we'll try to talk about that one first. Looks like this is glue. Show what it looks like when you get stuck in it. You basically your blinding frames freeze, and you end up stuck like that. Obviously, that's going to be bad for your opponent. It works on both your opponent and you. That's something to want to be worried about. Oh, cool, we got it again. Note that you can backdash off of glue. So using backdash to not get stuck in your own traps is a very good tip. If you're playing Markman and you have you're about to land your own trap, you can try to hit dive as soon as you land to kind of get off of that trap. Alright, that was a box item. It's a kickbox item. That's another kickbox item. That's a kickbox item. Okay, so I made the box. Notice that you'll see the meter down here draining very slowly. It's going to last 40 seconds, and my my specials are now upkicks. I just did upkick. It will go away if you end up doing a tie or a double KO. Notice that it did go away. So you'll have to build it again. But if you don't get, if it's not a full tie, let's say it goes to line, if you lose the round, whether you lose the round or not, you'll still retain kickbox for the, or your precision mode and the full kickbox meter for next round. Oh, there was spring. Oh, I guess we can talk about black hole. As you can see, black hole kind of sucks you in and then drops you from the top of the top of the world, and it does it pretty quickly. And you can kind of kick when you're at the top too as well. Hopefully we'll find that again. That's probably the hardest one to find. So I guess I'll try to explain the other ones while I and if I run into black hole again, we can talk about it a little bit more. Alright, so what are we missing? We've seen spring, but let's show you kind of what it looks like to get stuck on a spring.
Yes, from above. Round one.
I'm gonna throw both items here so we can kind of get both. Alright, there's a spring. So this is like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it goes away. You can kick and do specials off of the spring, so... Oh, there's a black hole. Cool. You can time your kick pretty well. You can kind of get them. You can do it out pretty low. Also, if you're standing next to it, you're gonna get sucked in to the hole. Oil makes you slide. If you had momentum, it'll kind of complete that momentum. If you're just going up and down, you won't get that momentum. But if you try to go here and then try to do a kickback, you'll notice that you'll have kind of like movement forward from when you kicked that will slow down your kickback. That is something to keep in mind. Notice I didn't do my kickback wasn't that far. See, that's my normal kickback, but previously my kickback kind of only went a lot less. Alright, gas. Notice my meter right here. And... oh, I guess the gas went away. It only lasts 6 seconds, so I gotta be quick.
Round 4. Kick.
Didn't get that gas again. Okay, there's the gas. Of course, I end up kicking the other player. When you win the round, the gas stops working. Let's go ahead and jump in it now. Notice that your meter drains very, very quickly there. Back to the hole. There's this weird thing where if you try to like kick back at the edge of the hole, it'll like try to pull you in, and you can kind of gain meter like that. I'll explain this one a little bit. I'll kind of show if I can hit the whole spring bounce off, but you can backdash off spring as well. Obviously, I can't move backwards because Markman's holding the camera wall against me, but if there was room behind, I would have been able to back off that spring. Try that again. There you go. Get yourself off. Of course, I can't do it all the time. I'm not that good. But maybe if you guys practice it, you guys can do it every single time. Alright, I think we went over all the items. There are some niche things with oil that I kind of want to cover. Of course, I never find oil when I want to. See if we can find oil this next one. Of course not. I guess I can talk plink plinking as Markman. So if you plink, you'll do like a little backup before you do your item toss, and you actually end up doing that while you're on oil. You'll get that backwards momentum and you'll do that slide back. So it's a good way if you are on oil, if you want to back up a little bit, you can plink your item search from A to D to basically get some of that backwards kickback momentum and then immediately cancel into your special, which basically allows you to slide backwards while searching for your item. Alright, since we're in precision mode, I might as well explain that now. you have the meter, and every time you do an upkick, you spend some of that meter.
Control.
And you can also
Markman
cancel your upkick
wins.
into a kick, and you can cancel your kick into an upkick. I know that sounds kind of weird, but basically it just means you can do an upkick at any moment, and you can also kick out of your upkick at any moment, and all of it uses meter. Nodzak in the chat says hello. Hello to you as well. Glad you can make it.
This from above.
Let's go ahead and show some more of the precision mode.
Round
Hopefully we can
one.
pick up those items pretty quickly. Let me get it first. Oh, it looks like they got it at the same time. Alright, so usually if you have
Hurry up.
when you're doing your upkick into kick, you actually do not have your startup on your kick normally. Normally you have that 6 frames of startup where you kind of have that coiled mode,
What a
but
step.
when you do a kick from an
Round
upkick, you do an
two.
instant kick, so you don't have that
Precision.
basically that 6 frame startup. So if you do want to try to do a quick attack, this is actually a lot
Round
faster than your normal
three.
like
Kick.
jump into kick.
Control.
Headshot.
Bad soldering.
Go ahead and try to
Round
find that
four.
box again.
High
Oh,
kick.
maybe I can show
Here.
the just frame moves while concussed. I showed the backdash there, but I didn't have time to do the do the electric kick. Let's go ahead and build that box one more time.
Hurry up.
On the upkick, the hitbox is about the knee, just like the electric kick. So once I get the
Hello.
box made, I'll try to move into the
Round five.
upkick and then freeze spray.
Precision.
Double kill.
I was a little bit too high off the screen there, so well, let me try to get him a little lower.
Round six.
Control.
Alright, that looks fine. Alright, so I believe the hitbox starts from over here. So just like the electric godfoot, if they hit anywhere towards your knee, they'll get hit. You can still get hit from this side, so there are times where the other characters end up like dodging your foot only to kick you here, and your head is still an active headshot hurt box, so you can still get hit out of this. You're not fully invulnerable while you're doing it. You just have a lot of hitbox right here, and it's moving upward at a pretty fast rate. Notzek, thanks for looking around. No worries. Keep your priorities and make sure to make those meetings. All right. I think what else is there for precision mode? Let me kind of show what it looks like when you get a kick in. Oh, of course I get the electric kick. One of the cool things when you do end up upkicking another character is they end up bouncing, kind of like whenever Redacted kicks a character. They end up kind of just getting hit into the stratosphere and not ever coming down. Let me think. Is there anything else with precision mode and the specials? I guess we can talk a little bit more about the round special. Actually, you know what? Let's finish off the precision mode stuff since there is a few more things. For some reason, when you're in precision mode, when you do a backdash, it's actually an upkick. So notice that I tried to do a backdash there with only one button press, and it turned into an upkick.
Hurry up.
And I think Ubersaw and I were kind of debating why this happens, and we think that it's just a bug in the game, but it's left over because the mini backdash is basically reused code from the air special, which is feint. And since you have kickbox, whenever you get the precision mode, when you build your kickbox, all your specials turn into upkick. Basically, your feint turns into upkick. And since the backdash is just a copy of feint at a smaller, like, I guess, threshold, this just ends up being an upkick as well. And we think that's what happened, and that's why this whole thing happens. But there's also a side effect here that you might want to know of that can be helpful or useful in certain situations. And that's whenever that happens, whenever you end up doing an upkick from a backdash execution, you end up gaining meter, like kick meter. So let's go ahead and start up the game and build a box, and I can show you what that kind of looks like. So I can find the and build the box fast enough.
Round 9 Divekick.
Okay, notice that I don't have full meter here, but as soon as I do my backdash that is actually an upkick, my meter is now full.
Hurry up.
If I go into Kickfactor, it'll drain. Oops, oh, I was about to fill it again. For some reason, you can actually gain meter while you're in Kickfactor here. And I think this is a bug, but, you know, the game's not going to get changed or fixed, so you find a good time to use it and to your advantage, definitely look for those moments. I would think that maybe if you're at the bottom, bottom end of your precision mode and you don't have that much meter, it might be a good thing to try out and back off and gain some meter. It gives you about just like one kick shy of feint. Let's see if I can get it in here.
Hurry up.
There you go. So that's one kick shy of feint. It will not activate your kick factors because I think you have to be able to be kicking when that happens.
Buy one, get one. Control. Precision.
Yeah, see? So it didn't activate my kick factor, but it filled up my meter pretty much all the way.
Affordability. Controller lock.
But yeah, that's a little quirk about backdash and precision mode. Alright, let's get back to the items. One thing that might happen is if you're in a Markman versus Markman mirror, you'll get overlapped items. And usually what happens is you'll get effects of both. I don't know the exact priority, but let's just say if there was glue and oil out, you would get stuck, and then after that you would slide a bit because of the oil.
4 Divekick.
Control. Precision.
Get out another item. The spring keeps you off the oil, but the glue doesn't, because the glue is about the same activation point.
5 Divekick.
See if I can get glue and oil at the same time.
Control mode.
Doesn't look like it. I just end up getting kickboxes.
Round 6.
Another thing about search is that it does lower your hurt boxes, so that can be an effective duck when people are trying to attack you. Oh, there it is, and the slide. There you go, and the slide. Notice there, I was able to duck Markman's kick coming in.
Round 7 Divekick.
I guess I hit jump instead of doing my special there, but I'm trying to do my special so I can show the ducking properties again. So, if you're ever being attacked from above, it is an option to try to do your search. That one I ended up using the oil to slide me back. If you are overlapped with Upkick, there's a high chance that you could hit them, just because that hitbox is so large. Let's see if there's anything else about the searching for items that we want to bring up. Oh, I guess there is a cute trick where you can put together your feint and your black hole, and you can use it for an attack that basically you use the black hole to get really high and above another character, and then you can try to kick above them and use feint to adjust it. Yeah, you can get a black hole. Worst known to find. Oh, one thing about meter use when you are in doing upkicks is that upkick without canceling a kick uses a medium amount of meter. When you do a kick into upkick, that uses I think the most, and then kicking out of an upkick uses the least. But all of those actions use up.
Hurry up!
Let's find that black hole.
Precision control mode.
Of course.
Precision control.
Trying to burn my meter.
Round 3
Precision.
Okay, build that hole. Let's have both throw here.
Control.
Hurry up!
Precision control mode. Precision.
Still looking for that hole. Yeah, it is the item that has the least chance of happening. Yeah, it's only 8%,
4
or 7 to 8%. So
Precision. Control. Precision. Control. Precision. Control.
Hurry up!
Precision control mode. Precision. Precision.
yep, looking proven to be a very low percentage. Sometimes you'll see 3 in a row though.
5 kick!
Markman is a very random character, so kind of have to deal with what kind of comes out from the searches. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not.
Control. Precision. Control.
Hurry up!
Precision control mode. Precision. Control. Precision.
But the point is, I'm trying to show you is I'm trying to go into the black hole and then use my my upkick, or sorry, my feint to kind of just adjust myself after I kick above them.
Oh yeah. Drive it. Control. Precision. Control.
Hurry up!
Precision. Precision control mode. Control. Precision.
Of course, I am having trouble finding a hole.
Good job.
Round 7 kick!
Oops. Just gonna try to build some meter over to feint though.
Round 8 kick!
Oh, there it is. Yay! There it is. Of course, I missed the kill, but that's the point. You kind of just want to get into the hole. You use the height of the hole to get above the other player really quickly, and then you use feint to adjust your attack.
I should have tagged out.
I think that's... There are some other cool things that you can do with setups with the items, but I'll let you guys figure that out. Let's talk about Kickfactor. Kickfactor is going to be pretty quick. Kickfactor makes you faster, and that's pretty much it. You use obviously you can use your air special while you're in Kickfactor, but basically you get that extra speed, which is a faster kick and a faster jump velocity during jump ups and jump backs or kickbacks. All right, let's see if I glossed anything over, but I'm pretty sure that's it for Kickfactor. Yep. All right, so let's talk about common offense. So
Yes, from above!
Markman's kick isn't as good as
One
Kung's kick because it's significantly slower, and it has that because it has that startup. And so kind of moving the way that Kung does isn't something Markman can do well. It's not that he can't do it, he just can't do it as good as Kung.
Hurry up!
And his items and his natural precision mode, kind of working up to precision mode, kind of lean towards Markman being a character that you end up making stronger over time. And you use the items to kind of space out the other player, so they have a hard time approaching you. You can use that space to either build meter, or you can use that space to kind of get closer and throw another item closer to them. If you end up getting an item on their spawning point, that's pretty good, because then you can kind of approach them and they have to deal with this trap that's right underneath their feet. But once you have enough meter for feint, you can start threatening with neutral jumps, because no matter what, they can't punish your landing anymore, because you can always feint if you see trouble. So as you're moving forward, you can kind of use the fact that you have feint to actually jump up and do large kicks, where you actually might do your electric wind gauntlet, because you always have the backup plan of using your feint to get out of it if you feel like it's a bad attack. So again, that's using the items to approach and trying to get an item kind of to put the other person in a bad spot or to drain their meter. Oil, I feel, is probably the worst of the bunch, only because the opponent can make good use of the oil, and I'll kind of go over that a little bit more in counterplay. But my favorite items as Markman are going to be Spring, because if they end up getting stuck on it, they won't be jumping very high, and you can land a kill while they get stuck on Spring. Blue is also a good one at halting their movements, so those are kind of the two top ones. With gas being dependent on whether they care about their meter or not. You'll notice that sometimes when you throw out gas, the opponent will just like stay away from it at all costs, and you can use that knowledge to your advantage. And so if it really doesn't do anything but besides drain meters, so if they're using their normals and they're approaching you, they don't care, then you can consider that not that great of an item compared to, because they're just not, it's not stopping them. Of course, it is taking away their options of having meter, but maybe there's a reason they don't care about it. Alright. You could use the spacing that's provided by your items to build up your kickbox, and now you're kind of in a mode where you're very threatening because you have an upkick, and basically anytime Markman goes up in the air, you have a ability to kind of get in there and upkick them. There's enough velocity on the upkick that you can even catch like the higher jumpers. That actually kicks pretty high up into the air. Yeah, so if anybody gets above you, you can use that precision box to do upkicks. I think if there's any other common offense I can think of.
Good job.
Round 4. Kick.
A lot of it revolves around kind of doing attacks when you know you have a backup. That's basically, you know, doing it with feint or doing it with upkick, where you can kick and get out of it with your upkick. You want to basically build up to those tools so that you can basically come in and always have that option to cancel your kick coming in. And that's either doing it this way or doing it with feint. And you can get Kickfactor and Precision Mode at the same time, so you could be like, you know, Super Saiyan. For those who don't get that reference, it's from an anime where you just basically get powered up to your maximum power level. So that's basically Kickfactor plus Precision Mode. You'll see like he was like glowing both red and white now.
Round 7. Kick. Double kill.
No refund!
I do have Insomniac here with us, and hopefully he can share kind of what he thinks is a very good offense or a common offense for Markman. Insomniac, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Welcome back to the show. We did have you on earlier to talk about Kung, and now you're back to spread your word on Markman. Just for those who didn't see the Kung show, could you do an introduction?
Sure. So I am Insom, also known as Insomniac. I've been playing Divekick for quite a while. Been taking it easy as of late, but I helped to run the Divekick tournaments previously. I've played a heck of a lot of both Kung Pao and Markman, and yeah, I think I can help give a rundown. I will have to say, just because the fighting game pedant in me won't let me go on without making some asides. Technically, the oil slick search slide, or I guess junk slide,
Mm-hmm.
one could call, that's not a plink. It's a piano, and it's technically a Kara cancel. If we really want to get into the weeds with it.
So
Uh,
I call it a plank. But
That's not what a plank is. It's
yes,
a
a
plank.
plank is it's a link. It's
It's a
basically
priority
a
link.
priority link.
It
Yeah.
has to be done through priority. It's not happening with priority and dive kick because it's the two buttons.
I'm just referring to the mechanics of. I guess you could say it's a car cancel out of everything.
Yeah, it's technically you're pianoing the two buttons and you are getting a Kara cancel. You are canceling the kickback into the special.
Yeah. The main mechanic is you want to press the buttons not at the same time, but
But one right after the other,
one
yeah.
right after another to basically trigger the special, but have one come out first.
hmm
And that's we've been referring to it as plinking or car cancels. I called it both. But thank you for calling that out and getting me to explain it a little bit more.
Yeah, no problem. And then the other thing to get more on topic as far as playstyle is concerned, while I do think that Marvel's Phoenix Wright was certainly a point of inspiration, I also think it is worth shouting out to Guilty Gear's Faust
Hmm.
as far as both sort of one of the OG fighting game item tossers, as well as I think a potential point of inspiration that one could take when trying to understand how to play this character.
Fair enough.
Um, because much like Guilty Gear's Faust, I think you can play it multiple ways. I think you can try to act a little bit more spacing reliant and try to use the items occasionally to encroach, or you can make it just the fundamental thing that your character and your playstyle is about. Like you are spending as many active and available frames searching for items and making good use of the items as you can in every single round. And that'll force you to play a bit more defensively and back off on exchanges and really only, approach when you have the meter to do feints or you can predict whether or not, the opponent is going to fall prey to some item that you're tossing up that you're able to react to faster than they can because they don't play this character, so they're not used to just seeing a random bottle of glue flying at their face. Um, so I think generally I probably lean more towards the latter, at least in this version of the game,
Hmm.
between the vanilla version and the current version of Divekick. Um, he was changed fairly significantly as far as his kick speed and his kickback and kick distance, and I feel like that made him a little less solid neutrally speaking, which I think means that you need to rely on his items a little bit more, at least in a decent amount of the matchups.
Yeah, for those who weren't aware of the or didn't play in vanilla, Markman had a lot faster kick. His kickback actually, his feint in the air actually had like this kind of arc. Now it has like this kind of arc where it's a little bit lower and doesn't go as far. But it was basically like he could do a kickback in midair. That's
Yeah.
how strong it was. So you can punish a lot more things with it. You can still punish a lot of things with his current feint, but not nearly as much as the previous iteration.
Yeah, and in all fairness, as somebody that was maining Markman at the time, it was a nerf that was needed. Not even just the feint stuff, but really the grounded neutral, just the distance that he would cover with the kick and with the kickback and the speed. He was basically a
Better
better
version of
Kung
Kung.
Kong, but
Yeah.
yeah, which that was just not what he needed to be. He already had a bunch of other useful tools and fun gimmicks and stuff. Um, so as far as approaching offense generally, I think I would also say that it depends to some degree on what kind of general fighting game player you are, in that, for me personally, I know I like to hit buttons. I like to hit
Yeah.
buttons a whole lot. It's fun hitting buttons. And so, being proactive about searching for items and getting my spots to build meter so that I can feint or that I can just build up to a full kick factor. That's generally the way that I like to approach the character and approach most matchups. Um, I will say that I think in order to really make the character feel strong in this current version, I think you really do have to get a sense for what each item is going to really afford you in the matchup and understanding the sort of risk reward as far as like, well, how useful is it going to be for me to dig here really? And if it's not, what else should I be doing? What should I be looking for? What should I be, uh, trying to gauge and feel out my opponent? And, what kind of reads should I be looking to make because maybe I can't be as proactive due to how, let's say, how vertically uh, the opposing character can attack.
Oh yeah, definitely. There are pluses and minuses to the items, and definitely during the matchups, you're gonna meet characters where you don't want to throw an item because you want to kind of get up in their face to stuffle their meter build because their meter build is better than whatever item you can throw.
Hmm.
um, and yeah, I definitely acknowledge that it is something that happens. I'm just talking about what's the common offense. Like I believe the common offense is Markman builds up to precision mode and then comes in at you. That's like I
Yeah,
think
it's
the
I would
common
yeah,
option.
it's building up to something,
Yeah,
either an advantageous item, enough meter to feint, enough meter for kick factor, or a full kickbox, and then going. It's
yeah,
usually not just I'm just gonna go in and hope it works well, just because the startup on his kick is just slow enough, and that enough
yes.
of the cast is just fast enough that you can do okay in some matchups, but generally speaking, I think anybody that's particularly practiced in their character is just not going to let you get away with just going full aggro without having anything to back it up.
I also that made me think about something I forgot to mention, and that's
Hurry up!
recovery from search. So this is
Nah,
about
nah,
half a second. I think it's like
yeah,
33 frames or something like that.
nah.
Sounds
Um,
about right.
Judgment!
but there is one moment when you complete your box, it's a little
Round
bit faster.
9!
So
Kick!
as soon as you hit your box made, your recovery from that is like
Nah.
5 or 6 frames faster or something like that. But it is worthy to note that if you are like being attacked and you get your kickbox, you might have enough time
Hurry
to
up!
react. Whereas if you found a regular item, you would have
Hmm.
just got hit because you were stuck in that search animation.
Yeah, also
Judgment!
helps if you're planning on using that
Round
crouching hitbox to
10!
avoid,
Kick!
a projectile
Oh
or a foot or
yes,
something. You
if you're
might
trying to duck
pop up a
something
little
and you're not
early.
ducking still because you got up early.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's many a stream missiles can hit you that way.
Oh yeah.
So if you do
Hurry
have
up!
two pieces of your box, you have to consider that as a possibility.
Yep.
Judgment!
All right, is there any other common offense that I left out?
Round 11!
I
Kick!
mean, one, if you really wanted, I don't know that I would say it's a common offense, but if you really want to be fancy, you can do some silly stuff with, something like, if you really practiced and got lucky with the electric wind godfoot, and or maybe there's some oil that you can take advantage of as far as the momentum. There's some cute slidey stuff you can do from time to time. I would say as a maybe more general thing, when it comes to offense, one of your strongest, uh,
Nah.
what's the word?
Nah.
One of the stronger elements of the character is simply his ability to move around the screen in
Round
relatively
12!
unusual ways.
Kick!
Mhm.
Nah.
So, you can use oil and the slide as you're displaying there
Oh, yeah.
to, just come at and get a little bit closer to someone in a way that they might not be expecting right at that moment and
Hurry
might
up!
not be able to easily punish
Nah.
depending on the character. So that can be something to consider whether you're actually going in for an attack or you're maybe just
Markman
contesting for the
wins!
line, or maybe you want to risk it all on, say, you're gonna grab a kickbox while you're sliding down in on them and pop up, and you're gonna win Evo with that move right there, and everyone's gonna love you. Probably not gonna work that way, but it's worth a shot.
All right, so I guess we can move into counterplay then.
Hmm.
Let's go ahead and bring the screen up.
Death from above!
All right, so dealing with
Roundo.
items. I think that's the first thing we should talk about.
Yep.
All right, gas. So gas, I would say that unless your character really needs specials, you shouldn't worry about gas too much. Just think of it as there's nothing there, and
Yeah.
because your normals normally are better than Markman's,
Yep.
because Markman is a little bit slower, and as Insom has mentioned, it's just you can get caught because they're just a little bit faster than you
Mhm.
during your startup. So I would say unless you really have really good specials, like someone like S-Kill, where you really need Trick to be effective because your normals are bad, I wouldn't worry too much about gas.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that's generally the way I view it as well.
yeah. Next one is. Oh, we'll just see what comes out. Black hole. Okay, black hole is what I want to
Spicy.
say is a double-edged sword for both characters.
Mhm.
um, if you're not used to the timing, kicking out of black hole can be rough. But as you get used to the timing, you can use it to your advantage as well. Um, if Markman has upkick, which means he's in precision mode, do not go in the hole.
No.
Because you're now overlapping each other, and he can just upkick you as soon as the fall speed synchronizes. So you want to get out of the hole if he has precision mode. But if he doesn't, and you get in the hole before him, you can use it to your advantage and try to get a kick out of it. Especially if you have air options like Mr. N, where he can stop in the air, or Shoals who can stop in the air. Um, you can kind of use the hole to kind of get above them easily. As Markman, obviously, if you have feint, hole becomes a lot better because you can use the feint to pull back any type of bad kick. You can use the edge of hole to kind of build meter, kind of doing a kickback kick as it pulls you in. If they're not willing to go in the hole, then that'll afford you space, and you'll actually build meter a lot faster than you would doing a regular kickback kick. Um, So I would say that if you're facing hole, you wanna know, do I have options in the air if I make a bad attack? And if not, go ahead and just stay back and build some meter because it can be a pile of can be a big hairy mess if you jump in there unprepared.
Yeah, it is. If you're not used to this character, it is very fast.
It's
The
very fast.
gravity speed, so it takes a lot of getting used to before you can get really comfortable and confident with it. So if you're not,
Ah,
then yeah, maybe just take it easy, build some meter, or just make a good judgment call as far as how deadly is my opponent in the air versus me. What kind of options do we have at right this moment?
Yep. Oils next, so that's the next random one that came out. But I think that this is normally very good for the opponent facing Markman. Um, you have being able to jump forward is something that only dive gets to do. But if there's oil, you can kind of use your momentum from a kick to get a jump forward as well.
Yeah, it's
It
just a free dive special for everybody.
the thing that it does mess up is how close you can get, how you're inching up ability. So you can
Hmm.
go ham with this into a big jump attack where you move forward, and it can be a pretty good attack. But just know that if you're trying to play footsies in front and there's oil, it's gonna mess up your plans. So use oil as a big attack. Don't try to inch forward if there's an oil in front of you.
Yeah, I would say that's generally the thing. And also, I personally, in my experience, I don't find it quite as miserable. I think in part of the reason for that perhaps is just that ultimately Markman is still, even if he's not a great one, is still a very horizontally kicking character, covers a lot of distance that way, and also can kick back still relatively far, even with the nerfs. So it's, if I get the sense that the opponent is going to use the slide, it is a bit, I don't want to say telegraphed, but you can kind of get a sense for it and you can kind of keep yourself spaced far enough away that if the oil does come, it's not like an instant, oh no, I'm in very deep trouble. It's more of a like, well, I guess I have to give up some ground now.
I guess if
Um,
you're doing the counterplay, the situation to look for is when Markman is throwing another item. because while he's looking for the item, the oil will still be out there, so you
Mhm.
can use it to kind of close in on him while he's spending the time doing a search.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what else our Markman wants to throw out here. I'm hoping to get glue or spring soon.
One day.
Nah.
Yes. All right, glue.
Wow.
It's awesome. Sometimes
Look
it just
out.
hits. All right, so
Sometimes you get
glue.
meteors.
Glue is kind of, I want to call it the chicken of items. It's really good for Markman, and usually you don't want to go through it. But sometimes people, um, people who play Markman take too much advantage that most people don't go through glue. And then that allows blind spots for you to kind of just jump in there. They aren't ready to punish because they're just like building
Yep.
meter because they thought you weren't going to come in. And all of a sudden, you're
Mhm.
in a position where you're sitting on top of glue, but you're now really close to them.
Yeah, it's you're stuck for however long it is, the 33 frames or what have
Yeah, it's
you.
about half a
But it's
second.
but it's not forever.
It's not forever.
It's you can definitely get around it or get over it even with a lot of characters as well. So while it is good, if the Markman throws the Elmers down, you can definitely catch them off guard, just feeling too safe and spamming the search and just sort of falling asleep at the wheel.
Yeah, yeah. There is one thing to mention though. If you are on glue, don't fall for making an empty jump. that's
Yeah.
that's the main thing. If you are end up on glue, when you make a jump, you're gonna have to commit to your attack because if you land in glue, you're pretty much giving yourself up at that point. So
Hmm.
while you're on top of glue, look to either back away from it or move forward. Don't look to make a big jump because if you end up having to not do anything on your big jump, you're pretty much headed for Stucksville.
Also, there's something in the back of my mind. I'm not sure if I can recall what it is, but there is an interaction. Oh, maybe is it Fencer? There's someone that has a miserable interaction with glue. I think
Okay,
it's
so
Fencer, right?
that is Fencer. Fencer's roll touches the ground
Yeah,
every time,
that's what
like
it is.
pretty much every frame. And so he gets stuck every frame of his roll, and it looks hilarious. Maybe we
So
can
if
show
you're
it later.
playing Fencer, you should definitely roll through the glue as much as possible. A really good counterplay.
There are other interactions, and I might as well just name them now. Johnny Gat has this weird interaction where his car is kind of part of
Yes.
him.
Yep.
And so if he's on glue and he calls the car, he'll jump up to avoid car, and then he'll land in the glue, and it'll freeze him, but it'll also freeze the car, which kind of sucks sometimes because you're expecting to jump over it, and all of a sudden it pauses and waits for you to land before it continues and runs you over.
That's very funny.
So it is something to watch out for if you are Markman versus Gat.
Hmm.
The last one I think is Spring,
I believe
and
so.
I don't know if we're gonna get it, but we'll see.
Got it.
Fingers crossed.
Hurry up.
One day.
Yes.
Wow.
All right, so Spring, it has a deceptively wide footprint. I gotta say that I've hit the Spring like out here, like when you accidentally like kind of kick into it and it pops you up still.
Yeah, I think it's actually a weird. I might describe it as the reverse problem in the sense that when you are kicking, your hitbox is widened, and I think it's that transition between kicking animation frame or kicking pose and like normal neutral or landing pose that is where you'll get this weird, seemingly unintuitive behavior where you will kick onto the spring but also not be on the spring.
Yeah, I think that the Spring is probably the most deadliest. I think glue, you sometimes you just recover enough to kind of get your head out of the way, but with Spring, it's kind of like your head is kind of hopping up and higher, but not high enough. And
Yeah, it's close. I would probably say it's across most of the cast, yes. I would say maybe there's a couple of characters like Markman and Redacted, and I'm sure some others where they can act in the air and get off of the spring in a way that they can't really do if they get caught by the glue. And if you're prepared for it, that I would maybe say it's
I
like
feel
it's
like
still
the
good.
glue. I guess I agree with you that you do have air special to deal with if you get stuck on Spring, except not all of them are that effective because you just don't. You're not high enough.
Yeah.
But there's also the fact that I think in terms of how long it takes you to get off a spring, I think that's a
Mhm.
longer time period than like just recovering from getting stuck.
Yeah, it can be for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, you want to know these items and understand which your character kind of deals with better. And try to stay away from the ones that you know your character can't handle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think the other major tip is watch for searches, like watch their search pattern. If you
Mm-hmm.
can get a handle of like when they tend to go for like searches that are more risky, then you'll start to figure out those times to rush in and get past the item. Like the spring isn't that bad if you know they're going for a search because there won't be protecting that kind of small window where you can step.
Yep.
All right. I think the next thing to talk about is Upkick. Upkick is something you're going to have to deal with. He'll eventually get it once or twice, maybe in a game,
Yep.
maybe more if they're
Roundo.
really, really
2.
lucky.
Divekick.
But do not get above Markman if you can help it.
I would say that that's true for the majority of the cast. Yeah.
And whenever you're facing a Markman, you want to kind of aim for this foot right here if they have precision mode.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, what that allows you to do is hopefully you can beat him with a better hitbox. But if you don't
Yep.
beat him, hopefully you tie because tie is good because you will knock out his kickbox. And if he ends up doing an up kick, you're kicking here, so he won't be able to up kick you as you aim for his foot.
Yep.
So that's kind of the major way to deal with an up kick is just don't go in this area. Stay low, try to hit his foot to stop him from coming in on you. And that's kind of your up kick defense in a nutshell.
I think that's generally about right. I will say there are maybe some characters where if you can get consistently or quickly high enough, maybe like at times, maybe with like Dive Jam or with Meter, like an Uncle Sensei or a Redacted or a Mr. N, that, going for that sort of, how should I put it, trying to catch like his back arm slash his head is also not a bad thing in the sense that like the upkick angle is not great when it comes to the trades, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, so you mean trying
Um,
to get past up kick, right?
exactly,
All right,
yes.
let me show the up kick real quick.
Precision.
Oh, hard to
Control.
get
All
on
right.
screen. Yep.
Go. Yeah, so if you can kind of get if you're one of the higher jump characters, you want to aim your kick kind of like get away from like kind of overshoot him. So you want to
Yep.
aim over here or even like past here to be safe.
Hmm.
And hopefully he goes underneath and you can kind of like get him on the counter attack.
Oh yeah.
Feint is another thing to watch out for. If Markman has meter for feint or up kick, you're gonna see a lot more big jumps into kicks. And
Yep.
you want to know that when they start doing that because you want to prep yourself for an electric kick. It might just come out. They might not be intending it. It just might happen because of the fact that they're doing big jumps into kicks because they know
Yep.
it's safe, because they can always get out of it.
Hmm.
You have to watch out for the electric kick. If
Hurry up.
the more you're watching for it, the more you won't be caught by it, and the more you can punish it when they accidentally do it and don't mean to. So
Yeah, it's still ultimately,
Ooh.
especially in Kickfactor,
Roundo.
it can
3.
move across the
Divekick.
screen so
so
quickly
fast, so fast.
that it's even as the person playing Markman, it is easy to be caught off guard and surprised by like, oh wait, I'm not where I thought I was going to be, and then at that point you can just be a deer in the headlights and get caught just not watching where you're going, and that's something you can definitely take advantage of. So whenever you see them going for those full height dives, it's worth just staying on your toes and making sure, like, just in case, if this is about to get really quick, let me just not be standing exactly here.
Is there anything else you wanted to add to counterplay that I didn't mention?
Let me think off the top of my head. Um, I mean, as you mentioned, with being observant of a player's search habits, I think also the feint habits is worth watching out for. I think there are definitely in at least in my times when I've played other Markman players, they do have tendencies in which they prefer to use the meter as far as like, are you gonna go high and feint low? Are you just gonna go for an attack and feint expecting some kind of punish because the attack obviously looks like it's maybe a little misplaced or too eager? Or are you just gonna not feint and you're just gonna build the meter, or you're just gonna go for the gusto? And seeing those tendencies and sort of knowing when to sort of stand your ground and let the markman say sail right over, which sometimes they'll just do that. I know that I have. Um, so sometimes, yeah, if you can get a read on that, all the better. And
Makes
you're
sense.
the only way to do that is to just actually observe and see what they do, see what their tendencies are with regards to feint.
Oh, thank you for adding that. I totally forgot about mentioning that. So,
No, it's worth it.
um, let's see. Let's talk about concussion. So
Mhm.
previously I mentioned can do your just frame moves, which is the electric kick and your
Hit.
backdash while you're concussed. So
Your
it might not be
turn.
super useful, but just remember that it's there. If you need to do a
Round
back, like
4.
you need to
Dive kick.
go back very far, you can get a little bit further with a little backdash at the end of your concussed.
Ha.
But
It's definitely useful.
Double kill.
My roundhouse ran out.
I would say that because Markman's
Round
angle is
5.
still
Dive kick.
pretty horizontal, you do have a chance at catching people coming in.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Yep.
it is an option. I think that Markman has a pretty good chance of surviving just because his kickback is pretty decent. There is a problem with going back too far
Yep.
and cornering yourself really, really quickly. I would say that'd be the thing to watch out for. Make sure as Markman you wait till the last moment to make your action, because if you do a kickback right at the start, you're gonna give up so much space.
Yep.
um, I think as Markman, I normally look to survive. I actually like try to survive the round because you do have those options of, kicking forward and doing a backdash to get a little bit further away if you need that. I feel like he has enough tools to kind of not get headshot chained as easily as other characters, even though he's a low jumper.
Yeah, generally speaking, I also feel relatively comfortable. I don't feel quite as doom and gloom when it comes to getting headshots with Markman compared to certain other characters.
Uber saw in the chat says, the second I fall into autopilot on my matches, I instantly find myself in the corner.
Yep.
Yeah, pressing that kickback one too many times, and you're like, how did I get back here? That's how far back Markman's kickback goes.
It's very, very far.
On approach, I feel like Markman has a very good kick angle, and he doesn't have to worry about his jump speed being a problem. So normally when people do their approach, they have to get kind of like very close, like about this close to kind of like threaten. But Markman can threaten from back here.
Mhm.
Because he can basically kick your head and also chase your kickback in a lot of scenarios. So he doesn't
Round
have to
6.
get as close as other characters, and that means that you can push them back earlier than normal by doing an approach and threatening from here. If they don't move, and
Double
that's a
kill.
pretty good kill.
Oh yeah.
And add to the fact that he
Round
also might have a
7.
electric kick. That's just gravy on top. So
Absolutely. Yep.
as far as concussion goes, I feel like Markman it does pretty well, even though he's a smaller jump character, because of the fact that the angle of his kick allows him to catch a lot of
Hurry up.
things.
Mhm.
Add to that he can always bail out if he has enough meter for feint, and the fact that he could throw an item right at you and make it even worse.
Markman
Oh
wins.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. Except for the fact that sometimes he has items out there that makes it really hard for him to approach during concussion.
That is true. Yes, it is.
So, as you play with your items, just know that it will persist across rounds, and it may hinder you if you end up getting a kill or if you need that ground movement to be better.
Yep.
Particularly a matchup against Shoals is kind of like a good example where you want to be able to get around, but you also want to build your you're kind of like trapping yourself at that point because the items that you leave are most likely going to be hit by you because Shoals is in the air most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? Like, are there any other like approach tips that you want to add when you're Markman approaching another concussed player?
Yes, from above.
Yeah, I think
Round
generally
one.
speaking,
High kick.
it's gonna come down to, as you were saying, like how useful are
Round
your item
two.
tosses going to
High
be
kick.
versus just approaching them, and maybe even how how lucky / consistent you're feeling with your electric kicks.
Double kill.
And as ultimately, for some matchups, maybe you're like, I don't even really want to build up my kickbox that badly. I would just rather get a relatively easy round, and I think I can here. Then yeah, it's worth going for it. Otherwise, for some matchups, you might instead be furiously just searching and searching and searching and hoping and trying to build up that kickbox because maybe you're trying to, chase up some flying around, zooming around fast player or something. So I think it's mostly going to depend on the matchup as far as how hard you chase and maybe how much you try to aim headshots together.
All right. Line play is our next topic. I'm gonna go with line play for Markman can be decent. It's just that he doesn't jump high enough. So I wouldn't say his line play is okay. Mainly because items make it hard to get to line easily, and feint gives him an option to like come in and readjust his attack to make sure it's perfectly timed. But his only check mark is he doesn't get that high, so a lot of the higher characters can challenge line easily because he just doesn't get high enough, and the higher characters can choose to get to the line through the air and not have to deal with Markman's ground items.
Yeah, until he gets into precision mode, there's not much you can do to fight the line.
Yeah, once he has precision mode, obviously doesn't matter if you go over him because he's gonna kick you. So it's awesome when he has precision mode, but I don't think that was ever in any contention. Precision mode is pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all I have to say on line. Is there any particular tactics that you use that you want to share as far as line tactics?
Gosh, I would say probably if I think that it's either the kind of matchup or the kind of player matchup or the kind of round that it's looking like, I might just try to go for either building towards kickbox as frequently as possible or searching for something like black hole, so that I can know I'm the one who's at the top of the screen now.
Yeah, that's true, right? If a black hole comes out, you can get above anybody very quickly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a good call out there. Didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about gems.
Yeah, there's only a couple, and it's really,
Is this a
I
button
know you're
check?
probably gonna
I got
ask.
7
No,
backwoods
I'm not
caps,
gonna
and
use the
they're all
YOLO
the
gem
same
anytime
Oh,
soon.
sorry.
Select your gems.
I think that overall the kick gem is the better gem for Markman, because his kick its speed has been nerfed. You want to kind of get that back. I do find myself choosing the dive gem a decent amount. Only that's for my specific style. I feel like whenever I have kick gem, I get a little bit too ham with Markman, and so
Yep.
that's just a personal preference where I tend to go dive gem because I know I can't go ham ever with dive gem because you're just not fast enough. But it does open a lot more feint opportunities because
Yep.
you're a little bit higher up in the air, so you can kind of jump over, kick over them, and just decide when you want to use your feint to fix it. But I think overall, I do like kick gem for most players. If I were to recommend a gem for Markman, I think kick is right in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, I would say similarly. I think generally speaking, kick gem is the one that I go to, especially as somebody that just likes to hit buttons and likes to hit the kick button a whole lot. But yeah, there are definitely times and matchups where one could very easily make an argument that that little bit of height that you gain from the dive gem can make the difference or can at least change up your approaches and your angles in the match enough to potentially just sway it in your favor or play better into your play style and how it matches up against a particular opponent. So I wouldn't say it's a bad gem. I would probably still lean, something like a 60-40 or 70-30
Makes sense.
towards kick gem in most matchups.
Do you ever find use of the style gem? Any particular matchup you feel the style gem would be worth using in?
Maybe if it
Historically,
was.
historically we've been kind of putting the style gem as you don't have room to kick and you need a lot of meter. I don't know if there's a situation where Markman has that, but maybe you have another use for it, or
I
is
mean,
it
you
mainly just
could.
dive and kick?
I mean, you could maybe make an argument, or at least I would say there is room for experimentation in some of Markman's worst matchups to see if maybe just having more consistent and frequent access to feint is enough. It's possible at the same time losing both the ability to jump high and kick quickly. That doesn't feel like that's the answer, but I could be wrong. Maybe I've messed around with it once or twice and was never particularly impressed. But I also wouldn't say that I've experimented all that heavily or seriously with the options. So maybe I would say probably his worst. Yeah, probably one of his worst matchups in, let's say, Redacted. Maybe just having a little more meter to do some more kickbacks, or just having, uh, being able to build up Kickfactor such that then, okay, now you can actually kind of play neutral a little bit. Maybe that's enough. I doubt it, but maybe.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is it's not your go-to for any particular matchup right now.
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay. All right. I think that's might be a good time to kind of go into matches now.
I think so.
I'll go ahead and exit this. Do you have a lobby up?
I do not yet.
Okay, I'll be there in a little bit. Right now we're gonna start with our normal dive matchup, so we'll start with that. But if anyone in the chat wants to shout out a character they want to see played against, and played with Markman, then go ahead and put it in the chat. If not, we'll kind of go over the list and see what might be interesting to show. Trying to think of, we'll definitely show the fencer rolling glue. Probably to end the show. That might be a nice, hilarious one. Fencer can, his sword throw can get ducked by Search.
It can.
I want to say that I'm not a fan of Markman's movement in the matchup, but his angle and his kickback are really good at dodging and punishing Fencer for any shenanigans. So as long as you can hold your ground and be defensive, I think you'll be fine. But it's just hard to, I'm a little bit too far away from Fencer to punish him, or be in the right spot to defend, and you have to adjust that. That's kind of like what gives you trouble in the matchup.
I would say so, yeah.
All right, how's that lobby going?
Should be up now.
All right, take a look. All right. Throw it in. Right.
Select your character.
Study hard if you want to come to my yard.
I'll void your warranty.
So, speaking from the dive side, I'm going to go ahead and pick kick gem, because as soon as Markman gets upkick, I do not want to jump that high, and I want to be able to get to his foot faster. So that's why I'm going with kick gem.
I think that's fair.
I think dive gem could be played. I think in general, dive gem and kick gem are interchangeable and both viable most of the time. It's just my playstyle. I like to have that extra speed so I can beat out that foot when he does get upkick.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I think in this matchup, I see a good argument for either one.
A little too fast there. Mainly I'm looking to punish Markman's kick. Not necessarily going for headshots because it's pretty far away. Staying low. Oh, there's a nice adjustment with the last of his prisoner mode. Knocked my meter out.
Yep.
Ooh.
Incompatible constraints.
Now he's got Kickfactor. Gotta worry about that now.
Positive directional
Wrong guess on the approach.
That's how it is sometimes.
Warning. Fraud detection. Warning.
That was an attack. You didn't even go for an approach. Ooh, nice fraud. Well played, well played.
Fraud detected.
As you can see, when Markman gets Kickfactor back, his speed can be pretty deadly. So, Kickfactor, precision mode, and feint are all abilities that make Markman dangerous.
Yes, from above. Round 1. Dive kick.
Controller lock.
Kind of got in that dead zone. Sometimes if you get too far into Markman, his kick is outstretched past you.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
There it is again.
KO. Round 3. Dive kick.
Trying to time that arc. There's my forward jump. Oh, get off that spring. Oh, I actually thought I was gonna bounce on the spring. It went away.
Yeah, I think it's just the timing right now.
Oh, good guess on the approach, that one. He's still one kick away from, or one piece away from kickbox, so I have to watch for it. No, there it is. He got it right away.
Yeah, 30%, you know, it's not that low. It's definitely something you can...
That wasn't in my calculation.
It's something you can consider in each game to be somewhat of an inevitability outside of some of the really bad matchups.
I had to get very far away from that. You're a little powered up too much there. As me wanting to use my special, and I was like, oh, he came forward. This is awesome.
Yes, from above. Round 1. Dive kick.
Maybe I should not approach. We'll see.
It's always a tough call.
That kickback definitely is going to beat out my slow concussed kick.
Round 4. Dive kick.
Oh, that was bad. Should have just kept the kick going.
Yeah, sometimes you get a little fancy. It happens. Oh, I thought I was in there. I think I just waited a little too long.
Yeah, Kickfactor betrayed you there. I wouldn't have. I don't think I would have seen it. Oh.
That wasn't in my calculation.
I was like, do I care about gas? I had to think about it. I'm like, no, not really.
Controller lock.
I was hoping you really didn't care about it.
Alright, so far I just went into neutral right now. Let's see if I can go all the way. Of course the hole got me. I was trying to kick right away to see if, because I know I'm not going to get out of it, so I don't want to get stuck in it.
Rarest item, just in time.
Yeah, that was like gas, gas, gas. Oh.
I mean, that's just playing Markman. Sometimes you
Yep,
just gotta get lucky. That's
that is
playing a
Markman.
luck-based character. You gotta... Some fighting game matchups, it's don't get hit, and some fighting game characters just get lucky. That's it.
Ooh.
That wasn't in my calculation.
have to be punishing with a DK, not a KK.
ラウンド3大キックヘッドショット
There you go.
No refund.
ラウンド4大キック
I think we both stood there like, did I catch your toe? No.
ラウンド5大キック
Oh, too far. Thought I would be able to chase to the corner there.
ラウンド
Close.
6大キック
Ooh, too close.
ラウンド7大キック
Return policy.
Take that small step before you
ラ
hit
ウ
me.
ンド8大キック
Buy one, get one.
Oh no!
Iteration limit reached!
I thought you were gonna go back further. You kicked right out of that.
9
Yep.
大キック
Didn't mean to kick quite that quickly, but here we are.
Oh, back in it again. Yep.
バックマン
Nice.
ウィン
We're definitely setting up the that black hole feint is a tool we talked about. Getting over really quickly and using feint to adjust kind of puts the other person in a really bad spot. Well played. Well
Yeah,
played.
it's really tough to get out of. And again, like I said, you just gotta get lucky. Just a couple black holes in a row. That's it. Easy game.
All right. I don't see any current suggestions. Is there any particular matchup you want to go over?
Yeah, I think like last time, not a bad idea to check out some of like the worse or weirder matchups. So I think definitely it's worth checking out Markman and Redacted.
Oh, okay. Okay.
セレクトよキャラクタ
Unacceptable. Buy our precision control products.
Obviously, this is
ーセレクトよジュエルズ
Redacted is a very
Select
fast
your
and
duds.
technical character, so it's hard to show off the true force if you're not on Argonroth. But yeah, even at a sort of intermediate or even beginner level, I think it's a very
Yes,
swingy
run
matchup
off.
in that stuff like Spring and Glue
ラウンド
can be just
one
absolutely
die
deadly
kick.
to Redacted, but otherwise, just the neutral can be.
ヘッドショット
Yeah, the
I should have tagged out.
Redacted's speed
ラウンド
can basically
2
take it like bully Markman. With be able to kind of knock down on his kick, and also the ability to duck the horizontal kick from Markman as well.
Yep.
Really lends to Redacted's strengths.
ラウンド
Yeah, I think one other painful part of this matchup, at least for me, is boy, the shape of
ラウン
her
ド5大
attack
キック
hitbox really lines up well compared to
Bad soldering.
really lines up well against Markman's
ラウン
upkick
ド
Yes, it does.
大キック
and trades probably better than almost anything that I've seen in this game.
Who made this
As far as trades go, it is
Yes.
it's for an
Redacted
attack
has-
designed to hit opponents that are above you. It will lose in a trade pretty badly against Redacted. Even if
Redacted
she's
still
above you.
has the best hitbox in the game, so much so that you can actually trade Upkick with her big meaty downward kick.
Yeah.
So
Yes from
It's
above
pretty rough. You will get headshot, and she will not lose the round, and it'll be pretty sweet. Oh no! There we go.
yeah, this is the that's the main tool against Redacted.
Yep, that is the redacted counterplay via Markman.
Yeah, this is where I just hang out back here until it goes away, and then another one comes. Gas can be good in that you can stop her from barreling.
Yep.
3
Sometimes she doesn't necessarily need it, so.
Wrong analogs elected.
But it is something to watch out for. If they're walking through, you know that they can't duck.
4大キックヘッドショット
Oh, I was trying to play in the oil and not the right time to do
ラ
that.
ウンド5大キック
Free shipping. My roundhouse went out.
ラウンド6大キック
getting those ties.
That looks like a loss to me. I don't know that that's a tie, but all right. I mean, that's one definition of a tie.
I mean, it
No,
looks
is
like
one
a
of those
tie,
things.
but I end up winning, so
Yeah.
that's why I say getting those ties. Oh no.
There you go.
Getting stuck, yeah.
Good job.
Like I said, it's 15% or so. I'll take it. I'll find those 15s, and then it's an easy matchup.
I think Feint and Upkick both do well at least dodging the attack, not necessarily kicking her.
Yep.
Really gotta watch when those come out.
Oh yeah. But yeah, no, they're definitely useful tools in this matchup to be certain. They're just not.
Hurry up!
Oh, I thought you were gonna get stuck.
I thought you weren't gonna get stuck.
Round 4, dive kick.
Return policy.
Round.
See, in situations like that, I think what I should have done, and what perhaps a better player would do,
Oh,
would
nice.
be to just use the upkick. Just because if you have it, you might as well.
6, dive kick.
Oh, I suppose it's also see, that trade is just the worst. That should be illegal.
Classic redacted. Oh no, bad time to die.
Another thing that's worth mentioning that I think maybe we might have glossed over is, as the Markman player, you can cancel your landing into a search to get around being stuck in glue. So that is something to mess around with.
Oh yeah, I did not mention that at all. Actually, do you want to just show this next one real quick?
Yeah. We
Yes, from above.
some glue down there.
I think that if you can backdash off it, that'd be better, but that's obviously a little bit more luck-based, or at least a little bit more smaller
Yeah,
window.
for me, it's more just when I'm building meter, then I can just do that and not have to worry about being stuck or committing to just purely landing. So rather than being stuck, I can
Buy one, get one.
cancel into the frames and at least be somewhat productive.
Yeah, you're stuck, but at least you're getting something, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Round 2, dive kick.
All right, shall we just continue from here?
Yeah. Sure.
All right.
Let you have a round 2. We'll just.
Oh no, we're good. We're good.
Buy one, get
Oh.
I think if I had made
That's one thing
spam
about
the
Redacted.
kick-
She doesn't mind being in the hole at the same time because her kick is pretty low as well.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
right
and
next
it's
to her.
just the very vertical nature of it as well. Also, doesn't hurt. Oh, I thought I was just fast enough, but it was close.
Round 5, dive kick.
Oh, I got stuck on it again.
It's really good.
I finally got off it and then I just got back on.
6, dive kick.
Oh man.
You know what's better than one spring?
Yeah. Another spring on the spawn.
7, dive kick.
So this is what I mean by the matchup being swingy. Like,
Yeah.
if the items just line up in such a way and the headshots line up, then this looks like it's an easy, free matchup.
Did you say swingy or springy?
Oh boy. Jeez. All right, let me just end the call here.
All right. What's another good matchup to look at?
I mean, I think we covered a decent amount of Baz's weirdness last time, so maybe something like a stream, maybe.
Okay. So I think this is one of Markman's better matchups for sure.
Yeah, I think in this version, I would tend to agree.
Mainly because Markman's kickback does worlds of wonder getting away from Stream's steered kick. Because
Yep.
it's just really fast and it's low, so you don't have to worry about like jumping too high. The upkick does wonders once you finally get it. There's not much stream can do, and also that kind of like your angle, you can kind of kick above my. If I'm horizontal, you can kind of like kick into me.
Yes, from above. Round
Set that.
one. Dive kick.
We're good.
Salty sweet.
Yeah, I have to go like very turned up to get that back foot angle.
Dive kick.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, see that kickback? Just enough to get away from a full like steer kick.
Round
Yep.
three. Dive kick.
I feel like this was one of the things that changed between versions.
Stream's kick was a little bit faster previously.
Dive kick.
Yeah.
Oh, Spring is pretty good against Stream too. He's like light, and so the Spring actually bounces up pretty high, and then sometimes it like breaks his gravity.
Dive.
Yep.
Dive
It does.
Who made
Oh, I
this?
was hoping for a trade
Yeah, the back foot.
Round six. Dive kick.
Oh man,
It was close.
thought you were gonna go under, waiting for the kick.
Round
I thought about it and I thought, you know, that seems like maybe a little too easily read.
double KO.
Ties like that will happen.
Oh yeah, for
Round
sure.
eight. Dive kick. Insult.
Nice, nice.
Round nine. Dive kick.
Gotta stay under. Oh, tie. Nice play. Well, that's a good round.
Round
Plenty of back and forth.
dive kick.
Ooh, just above.
Markman wins.
What a stud.
Trying to get that back leg.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird matchup because of the way that both characters have really good kickbacks and really good ways of escaping pressure. So it's hard for either character to feel like they can really go in without the resources, and then the resources change so much of how they go in. That
Yeah,
then
definitely.
it makes things a little more squirrely and unpredictable, which I think ultimately just makes for a fun matchup, generally speaking.
Round three. Dive kick.
Searching a little too close.
Yeah, I shouldn't have
Dive kick.
thought that I would get away with that. Ooh, nice.
That was a little bit of a invisible
Dive kick.
cancel. Oh, that was not. So you're not stuck
Oh,
long
should've
enough.
just let you.
Round six. Dive kick.
Oh man, the flash pause got me.
Mhm.
Round seven. Dive kick.
Ooh, hoping for a tie there. Nice feint.
It's close, it was close.
Eight. Dive kick.
Oh,
Oh,
Insult.
I thought I could sneak under.
I think you could have just waited for my kick to run out.
Nine.
I think
Dive
so.
kick. Studying wins.
Yeah, normally I don't like doing flame bait against Markman because he can kick under you so well, and usually as stream you don't want anybody behind you. But when they're concussed, definitely a nice way to set things up.
Yeah, it's a good way to close it out
Yes,
for sure.
from above. Round one. Dive kick.
Short circuit.
Kind of committed to a big jump there. I was able to just kind of get above.
Two. Dive kick.
Buy one, get one. Return policy.
Nice.
Bottom leg?
라운드
No.
3 다이킥
There's glue in between us.
Oh, I slid on the glue. I thought I was outside.
I
of
got you too close.
라운드 4
That was really far.
Oh man. Yeah, the spring can break stream a little bit, so you want to be wary of that if you are playing stream.
다이킥
Absolutely.
Oh.
Talk about being betrayed.
Betrayed.
라운드 6 다이킥
That looks very familiar to last setup.
Yeah. Turns out, still works.
Yeah, don't forget you can do a backdash if you feel like you're not going far enough.
라운드
Yeah, that's a good point.
1
It's
다이킥
definitely a part of this character's toolbox that I've never super practiced on.
헤드샷
Ooh, nice. Should have linked into a dig there.
Yeah, just trying to think of when you might get close.
다이킥
Oh. I'm like trying to time my chase to the back, and I'm like, nope, you just keep getting closer.
My roundhouse went out.
라운드 4 다이킥
Oh, the glue. I was like,
라운드 5 다이킥
oh, I'll take it.
KO
It was close, it was
라운드
close.
6 다이킥
Oh,
Uh-huh.
that's so Redacted and
라운드 7
Markman can do that to stream. Basically, if you ever knock stream into the air and he never lands, he still has the same momentum from his kick. Oh, dang, nice.
라운드 9 다이킥
Oh no,
Markman wins
not high enough. I was trying to use the flame bait to
Yeah.
dodge one more time.
It was close, it was close.
But yeah, he does have that like horizontal momentum. You know how if I go with, like a horizontal kick, I'll still have that horizontal momentum on my first jump and kick. If I land for my first jump, it'll go away.
Yes from above
Yeah, it's very silly looking, but it is fun.
라운드 1
Bugs.
다이킥
Slid a little bit too far.
라운드 2 다이킥 헤드샷
Oh, hoping to land earlier, but did not turn it down quick enough.
라운드 3
Yeah, Stream is
다이킥
a tough character to pilot. It's definitely something that I never got used to for sure. How did you not land in the glue?
It's a little bit further away.
Positive. Oh my goodness.
Or I might have landed already.
I think it was just a timing thing. I think it was still getting stuck on the ground there.
Ooh.
Am I gonna be on the spring? I might be.
No. Oh yeah, I guess so.
Oh yeah.
다이킥 헤드샷
Oh, I accidentally kicked a little too early there. I did the bounce.
라운드
The backdash.
Kick back. Yeah, backdash.
My roundhouse went out.
But yeah, then I was trying to cancel it into a search.
7
But
다이킥
that is another thing you can do to get off of the spring like that.
And I'm waiting for you to kick in. I'm like, do it.
But yeah, if you do that terra cancel the dig, you can use that to sort of help get off of the spring.
Oh,
if you
no.
spawn on it.
Right when you got, I'm like, this is the wrong time to come in.
I'm a
Nice
genius.
one.
Oh no.
All right, let's see. We still got time. It's not 7:30 just yet, but we still have time for at least one more.
Yeah, I think we could do one more.
Let's see who else is out here.
Yeah, by all means. Take a look and see if you have any particular ideas.
Maybe Kick or Kung.
So
Kind of want
maybe
to
Kung.
show, yeah, a bit of the ground
Upkicks are
game
all
that
about precision.
Kung does really well because Markman's they basically have the same kind of horizontal threat. It's just Kung just does a lot better.
Yep. Yeah, it's
And
just a little
so
bit faster, a little bit tighter. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, I think the problem with Kick is I just think like the shape of the hitboxes just don't line up well, such that I just think that it's just a bad matchup for him. So it would be a lot like those sort of rounds where when we were playing Markman Dive earlier, and I would sort of catch you on your kickback because you were maybe a little too slow, or maybe just traded in a way that was unfavorable. It would be a lot of that, I find, in that matchup.
oh, I see Kick doing a bit better than Dive just because
From above.
like he's able to kick Markman out of kicking a lot because he just has better ground movement than Dive.
I think that's true, but in my experience, at least, I have always found that matchup fairly easy, and I think it is because of that. It is ultimately down to just the shapes of the attacking
Round two.
positions, the poses rather. I just think it's hard for Kick to actually sort of catch Markman where he's standing, given how quickly he can kick back, and then punish appropriately in his relative angle.
Makes me want to kind of play it now.
Give it a shot if you want to.
Oh, don't want to be on that spray. Oh, I should be probably going for a high attack there.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt.
Round five. Divekick.
Nah. Center control mode. Innovative design. Precision.
I think you could have just upkicked there and you would have had me. Oh my god, that's so fast.
Yeah, I find when you have the kick factor, it's worth just going for it. Because it's so much faster. That if you get it, then it's great. If not, you're still flying pretty quickly.
Oh.
Round.
Yeah, I got two more.
Divekick.
Yep, two only.
Nah.
Oh no, the precision, so imprecise.
Yeah, it's tough for Markman to dig when he's a little bit too close.
Oh, I saw it coming, but I didn't position properly.
That was a good dodge at first, just
I just didn't quite punish right.
yeah. Yeah, it's pretty hard for Markman to build if Kung can position her sub close, because you can just catch up as soon as you like look for an item.
Oh yeah, she threatens that space in front of her really well. Ooh, nice.
Kong analog selected.
Round two. Divekick.
Oh, nice.
Round.
And across the sea of glue.
Controller lock.
There's the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Round four. Divekick.
Oh, what's going on? Jeez.
Expertly played.
Round five. Divekick.
Who made this stick?
A little slow on the feint there. I think I might have had
Round
it by
six.
I junked it. That was a pretty hilarious scenario. Oh, did not get the turnaround.
Round seven. Divekick.
Hit Bogo. Free shipping. Short circuit.
Power
slow.
wins.
Yeah, that's how Kung pretty much. I think that sums up the matchup. Is Markman's just a little bit too slow, just a little bit.
Yep.
And Kung can basically say, yeah, I do whatever you do better, except for when you get faint.
I should have tagged out.
Round 2. Dive kick.
Free shipping. Nah.
Oh, this is bad for me though. All right, cool.
KO.
Nice.
Round 3. Dive kick.
Bad soldering.
Round 4. Dive kick.
Oh.
Buy my stuff.
I thought I could kick again. I think if I maybe timed it right, I might have done
Round
I
5.
think your duck there would have ducked my kick if I went over it. Alright, get out the way. Oh man. The black hole setups.
6.
You got one more too.
Who made this stick?
About to get Kickfactor.
Round
Gonna be worse.
7. Dive kick.
Oh, nice.
I'll take it.
KO.
It's a good trade for you.
Round 8. Dive kick.
Oh, badly timed on my part. Gotta go a little earlier than that.
Round
Yep.
9. Dive kick.
Control mode. Logo. Vision. Control. Discount. Vision. Portability.
Oh! I think the Kickfactor allowed you to see that coming in.
Yep.
Oh.
No. You don't need to do that. That's fine. Oh, let's go like that. That's fine.
Junktail, if you're watching, if you do have a matchup you want to see, let us know.
Yes.
Otherwise, we're gonna be doing kick and then maybe some glue fencer just for one fun roll.
Just for kicks.
Oh. Thought I cleared the glue at least. Did not.
It was close. It was close.
Dive kick.
Oh, never mind.
Free shipping.
Ah, I didn't see that coming at all. That was completely on me.
Thank you.
Round 3. Dive kick.
Oh, just recovered. If that was a concussed kick, I think I would have been able to kick back from it.
No
Wow. Surprising trade. And
That
yeah, I think
it does.
you're right.
If Markman ever gets over, he'll win it. But if it's at the same height, he'll lose it. Oh, tough to chase.
Round 6. Dive kick.
Yeah, I can do a Jefailey one.
Free shipping. Sweet.
Hurry up.
Control. Vision.
Nice.
I am surprised that I won that.
Round 7. Dive kick.
Oh.
Markman.
I even tried to like go for the headshot there with like an extra one, but I think I was out of precision meter by that point.
I was just hoping to get you like before you can hit the up kick.
It was close. It was close for sure.
2-2.
Yes.
Type set.
Above. Round 1. Dive kick.
Short circuit.
We have a request for Jefailey.
Round
I'll
two.
skip my kick exploration. I don't mind doing Jefailey.
Sure.
Oh, keep missing that.
Honestly, it is a very common thing in this matchup. Once it hits the corner for both to just whiff. It is silly, but it is a thing.
Free shipping. Sweet. No refund.
Bit too close.
Round 4. Dive kick.
Position control mode. Precision. Return policy.
A little slow on that kick.
Perfecto.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have won though.
5. Dive kick.
Oh no.
Mhm.
Just enough height.
Round 6. Dive kick.
Go.
Oh.
A little slow.
Trying to watch them digs.
Round 7. Dive kick.
Oh no.
Wins.
One more time. Thanks.
That's good stuff.
That was a good set. That was a good set.
Yeah. In
Alright.
general, I find it's a relatively close but still fun matchup.
Oh, definitely. It's. I don't think this matchup is like super bad. It's just. Kung just has more options, but it doesn't mean
Yeah.
that Markman
Yeah,
is.
it's not
Yeah.
unwinnable. Yeah,
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and
Select
Jefailey
your
at the
character.
request of Junk Tail here.
yeah. Sure.
Is this a button check?
Set the score. The main component in this matchup is going to be, I think,
Let's
Upkick.
hit up the playbook after a
I would
fight.
say so, yeah.
Select your breed.
Jefailey's boom kick can kind of chase Markman. Once it's fully charged, can chase Markman wherever he goes. And so there's this kind of race for Markman to build Upkick, and then Jefailey pretty much, it just swings where Jefailey has like little options now because he has a
Mhm.
drop kick which can get anti-aired. So
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Round
I'm gonna be pretty aggressive here, trying to limit
Insomniac.
Markman from building. Trying to build up my charge to corner him. That's kind of the
Yeah.
plan.
2.
If I get Kickfactor a long way, that's even better.
Yeah, this is one of the matchups I think where sometimes, depending on playstyle and whatnot, where I will go for the dive gem if I think that I
Round
really need it.
4.
But
Dive kick.
usually I think I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, that was good. I did that.
I'm feeling myself.
All right, Kickfactor's good for me.
Mhm.
Round 5. Dive kick.
Buy one, get one.
Round 6. Dive kick.
Just enough height to get above that. Maybe if I was on a smaller head, I wouldn't be able to jump over that.
Dive kick.
Yeah, it was close.
Oh.
I should have tagged out.
Right there, but I was a little too fast. So that would have been an example where I think dive gem might have actually, with the same inputs, I might have won the round instead.
Yeah, just because he would have been coming in a little slower.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that Jefailey does have a better hitbox in terms of like foot-to-foot clash. He'll normally win the trades.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
This from above.
And another point down for Markman until he gets Upkick. Then his
Wow.
kickbox is way better.
I'll say.
Yeah, there's the good example of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Round 2. Dive kick. Round 3.
Yeah, this for me was always one of those matchups that I felt was a bit of an outlier. Was a bit weird, which I think that's just a testament to the fact that Jefailey is a bit of a weird character.
Oh, I thought you'd be stuck in the glue. It's gone.
Round
I had a feeling it was gonna vanish.
dive kick.
Ah, this time that.
Oh, not quite far enough.
No,
Round
not yet.
6. Dive kick.
Nice, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Round 7. Dive kick. Headshot.
Ooh, thought I'd be able to catch you there.
It's close. The timing is pretty close.
Round 8.
Well timed, well timed.
Dive kick.
Now I'm mad, cats.
Oh.
Should have canceled or something.
Round 9. Dive kick.
Return policy.
was a bit gambling on my side. I was kind of just banking on your meter build kick there.
Yeah, no, it was, sometimes that's just kind of what you have to do, both in this matchup as well as just this game in general.
Yeah, sometimes if you're like 2 items in, I'm like, I gotta hurry up. Because or else I'm losing like 3 rounds in a row. Oh, there we go. Yes.
There, yeah, well.
You still keep the box though, but maybe I could chain this up before you can look for another item. Oh.
Yep, there's that horizontal kickbox there.
Round 3, Divekick.
Oh, that oil
Yep.
pushed me just a little bit too much. Okay.
Yeah.
Round 5, Divekick.
Alright.
Just barely mistimed it.
My only tool.
6, Divekick.
Disqualified!
Oh. Nice way to get under.
Mm-hmm.
Round 7, Divekick.
That's just a bad decision.
It's a bit greedy.
Round 8, Divekick.
Dive kick instead of a back kick.
Oh man.
Markman wins.
Nice. Falling out, maybe you're gonna reverse sweep me.
It could happen. It's definitely happened before. But,
Yes.
yeah, I'm not sure where I pinned this matchup particularly.
Round 1.
Last time I thought about it.
I mean, I put it Jefailey, but only because Markman has to work to his condition.
Yeah.
But it's not that much. It's not like a 7-3 or anything.
Yeah, it's still, as discussed,
Feels like a 6-4.
yeah.
Round 3.
I really like, because I mean, once you get Upkick, it's gonna be good.
Ooh, I should have listened.
Yeah, I'm putting him in my wrist to cancel yours.
Divekick. Round 5. Divekick.
Disqualified!
Oh, I kicked back into
had it.
the back half of the hitbox there.
6. Divekick.
Yeah. I was like, I think I'm dead.
I thought so too, but I was like,
Round 7. Divekick.
okay, or I could just not hit
Oh.
Yeah, I just had a feeling you were gonna go for it, but I was like, oh, but what if they don't? How do you get a free kickbox part?
Oh, no. That's me mistiming the length of my kick there.
Divekick.
It's okay, I still make money!
That's not good.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Who could say? Okay, maybe it was.
That's even worse.
What a stud.
Alright, 2-2. Hive set.
There you go, there you go.
Yeah, as we've seen, getting spring on the spawn point can be very, very strong.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's when you can tell that you're at that position of the map, it makes the dig that much more worthwhile.
Defeated!
Round 2. Divekick.
But you're gonna try to get in that hole.
I thought about it for a second, but I was like,
3. Divekick.
Oh, nice.
mm-hmm. And sometimes it's worth going for it.
Round 4. Divekick.
Oh.
Fraud detection warning.
Alright, we'll see if I can at least save fraud.
Detection warning.
We'll see, we'll see.
Round 5. Divekick.
Disqualified!
Oh, come on.
Fraud detected.
Yeah, that was my fault. I should have. I hit the Noctur Kickfactor. You were in a bad spot. I did not punish. Well played. Well played.
Good stuff, good stuff.
All right, so like we're gonna end this on some fencer glue shenanigans.
セレクトよキャラクタ
I
ー
wouldn't. We're really gonna show what this game is all about.
So if you're ever in this matchup and you see glue, do not do what you're about to witness, unless you're just having fun, because
Yeah.
it's not gonna win you any matches. Let's just say
No.
that.
No, it will not.
Yes, from above. Round 1. Dive kick.
I'll throw my sword away. Oh, oh.
I just meant to dig again just for the heck of it.
wait, I'm almost there.
2. Dive
All right, here's a roll. Oh, wait. Do it again. We gotta get the whole thing. There it
There you
is.
go, yeah.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I last the whole 6 seconds. I'm stuck the whole 6 seconds. The glue is out.
I like that I got more black, or almost as many black holes as I think I got glue there. That's pretty good.
round 3.
That RNG's.
Dive kick.
Precision.
You know what?
Oh, wow.
I just learned something there. That
What
was
did you
me
learn?
testing out if you
Round
can do
4.
the
Dive kick.
back kick, the
In
what were we
hole,
calling it?
yeah. Every trap you can do a backdash.
Yeah, I didn't realize that you could do it off of, or at least like, you could do it while you have precision in the black hole. That was the thing that I was like, I've never tried that before.
So if you do a regular backdash in hole, it slows down your rate at which you fall through, but it still sucks you back in, so there's no escaping the black hole even if you do it. But it does change up your timing if you do want to change up your timing.
I will punish.
You sure? You don't want to wait a couple more seconds?
I mean, alright, I guess I could let it, you know.
Oh.
Oh, wait, I gotta... There we go. Yeah.
Buy one, get one. Free shipping.
Have time to sail over a couple
You
of
did.
times.
You sailed over. You got stuck in the glue yourself. You kicked over me, and there's still time to punish that.
Precision. Offset. Control. Precision.
Oh, got the sword in.
Oh no.
Round.
You know what I want to try? I want to throw this sword, and then I want to roll. Oh, I guess I can't roll right after.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if it slows down the sword.
Round.
That's actually a good question. I will let you...
Oh no, I don't think
no.
it'll. By the time
Oh,
I
yeah,
finish my
you're right,
animation of
yeah.
throwing, I can't roll. So
Yeah, I think you're right, yeah. Yeah, you gotta wait it out, unfortunately. There we go.
good way to end it. Good way to end
That's
it.
good.
Junktail, Ubersa, Notsack, thanks for joining us tonight. Insomniac, it's been a pleasure again to do another character discussion with you. You always
thanks for
bring
having me.
good ideas and good play to the table. Everyone else out there, we do have a Discord, and if you want to come and join and play with us, please come join our Discord to use it to find matches, strike up discussions on characters, and to also get updates on the next time we do this type of talk and who's like coming up next. I think we have Kick coming up next. I don't know if we have anybody talking. A guest speaker just yet, but hopefully I can hunt one down before we get to next week. But Junktail, if you aren't already part of the Discord, please join. I'd love to see you come and join us play. To everyone else, if you do want to watch the previous character discussions, you can find it here on the Twitch channel. I am looking to port it over to YouTube once I get time, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make them into chapters so it's a little bit easier to follow, since these discussions can be pretty long. But there's definitely a lot here to dig into, so I'm glad I'd to spend this time with Insomniac to kind of dive into this stuff. Pun intended.
Kick things off.
Insomniac, do you have any last words before we close the show?
No, just a standard, thank you very much for having me. It was a great time. Thank you for continuing to run the show and the Discord and tournaments and all that. I've been a little busy as of late, but it's good to know that diving and kicking goes on.
Thank you again. All right, you guys have a good evening, and I'll see you next time. Take care.
Cheers.